What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. What's happening, y'all? What's happening? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I did post a video earlier today, a short, which I'm kind of still getting used to doing. I'm gonna hone in on that a little more and, you know, uh, just learn how to better bring the message to you guys. Uh, and the fact of the matter is I'm working on it. Because the thing of it is, man, I could sit here and record these videos for hours, and it's very difficult for me to just stop and be like, oh wait, like 20 minutes, that's enough, that's long enough. And to sit there and get a message in 60 seconds out is something that I'm working on. Let's just say I'm working on it. With time, everything will get better, and it always does. And, we're stepping into our power. Can you feel the freaking shift? Because I can. Um, Man, the sun is out, the warmth is out, the blue skies, like spring is here, and big things are coming for us all. Now, mind you, there will be things in the external that maybe you don't like, maybe, triggers you, brings up old trauma, but remember, it's there to heal you if it's triggering you in some way or it's some aspect. And that's something that is a very hard lesson for a lot of us to learn and understand and realize that everything is happening for us and by us. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And it's taken me many, many years to realize that, especially when you're in that loop or you're in that darkness, which I've been in many, many times in my life. And, I can honestly say that I've had more trials and tribulations and tests and difficulties in my life than I've had enjoyable, pleasurable, fun experiences in this life. And I know that I came here to heal a lot because I've gone through a lot of healing. And I've had a lot of shifts. And I realized when 2017, 2018 hit, I had a massive shift. I didn't know from when I zoom out, I can see the difference and I can understand it now. And I'm getting chills just saying this because for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, I didn't really know. And the more and more I deepen my perception, my perspective, my intuition, my connection with the divine, with God, with Source, whatever you label it. I usually say universe, but again, that's different for everyone and how everyone looks at their uh, that higher power at play. And I try to bring home to you guys all the time that we would not have incarnated and came here if there wasn't a team like guiding you and protecting you. And it's just that we go through these moments in our life where we want things so quickly to happen, and it requires patience. Because the way I described it in other videos and with individuals is that maybe somebody in your life, maybe a relationship, or maybe another individual that you're friends with or romantic partners or family with, they have things to work through and you have things to work through. And you're not going to meet each other yet in alignment because you both possibly have things to work through. And it's not only that, but it's our leveling up. There's so many things at play that you just can't pinpoint one thing and say, well, this is why this is happening or this is why this is not happening. Like, there is so much behind the scenes happening of why this person is not in your life and you want them in your life, or you don't want them in your life and why they're still there. There is And it kind of goes back to the shift, that we're experiencing, because there is a lot. For the past, I would say, year, maybe even longer, every time I get on that yoga mat, every time I do meditation, every time I go out in nature, every time I'm by myself, and I'm getting chills again, because every single time I get downloads of let go, let go, let go of control, let go, let go. And then I keep bouncing back and forth, like, why is this happening? Like, the family dynamic is kind of putting pressure on me that I have to be a certain way or live a certain way, or my friends, or the friends I used to have, or the life I used to live, or the life I let go of. Because I'll tell you what, I've brought a lot of resistance. Okay? In my life, that's part of a big problem that I've had. That I've had is the key word, because I've essentially resisted a lot. Even though I wanted those changes, I resisted them when they came. And I fought them, kicking and screaming. And I found nothing but suffering and agony and pain, instead of just letting go and letting life just, like, kind of like you're in an inner tube and you're in a stream or a river, and you're just letting the river take you up the stream, or in, like those lazy rivers. It's kind of like a lazy river, and you're in that inner tube, and you're just allowing the current to just slowly take you in and around the river, just taking you and guiding you all over the place, and just allowing. And I'm getting massive chills when I say that. Massive. Because it is the truth. It's like that. If we did that, and we let go of what the ego was trying to control everything, and say, no, I want it to play out this way, or I want it to go this way. I want my financial situation to be this way. So you force all these things, and you force to pay off this or pay off that, and then you have lack in another area, and then you're struggling, and then you buy this and buy that, and versus like just let go of the ego trying to control and trying to force these things to happen, and we just allow ourselves to float up the river with the current, let the current take us, versus us trying to force. Because it's funny, let me just say this: when I was in a lazy river, in certain points of the river, I would paddle with my hands and feet to try to get to a certain point. It's, man, holy shit, this analogy is crazy, dude. Because I remember, like, I went with a group of people, and many, many times in my life I was on those lazy rivers in different areas. And I remember trying to get to a certain place, like I would just allow it to push, to the current to take me. And then all of a sudden I would like paddle my hands and feet to get to where somebody was that I was trying to reach. I would force myself to get there versus allowing myself just to go. And it's almost like a metaphor of you trying to force yourself in certain relationships, certain romantic partnerships, certain friendships, certain family dynamics. We try to force these things. We try to, versus like, maybe like your entire life you've been praying and asking for certain things, and maybe those things that you were asking for didn't include those people in your life, or that relationship, or whatever the case may be. And now Source, Divine, God is like has been working behind the scenes with your higher self, and your higher self has been working with all these different individuals, and for that new life that you've been asking for, maybe it doesn't include those individuals. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I've been through that so many times, and I've fought to try to keep them in, and it became chaotic. There became chaos because you're essentially trying to paddle with resistance up the stream versus letting the stream just take you and guide you and glide you across the way. And it's like we ask for these things, but then when the time comes and everything starts moving into place, we don't like it anymore, because we didn't realize that what we asked for didn't include certain individuals. and those individuals were taken out of our lives or brought in. New ones were brought in to up level us, or you know, and sometimes that means the passing on of pets and individuals, and that can be really really hard for us to a really really hard pill to swallow, because I've gone through it in numerous times in my life. And you know, but yet we've been asking for certain things to happen, and then we have this shift, and then when that shift happens, those people get taken out, whether they pass away or they just get removed, and we don't like it, and we fight it. And I've been there many many times. I'm speaking from everything I speak on this channel is from experience and what I've gone through and what I've experienced. And you know, it's hard, man. It's super hard to let go of that version of yourself that you used to be. That to I described this a few times on the channel, where you know, it's almost like you're holding your old self by the hands and wrists, and your legs are gripping onto the end of the mountain, and or you're in a plane, and you're holding on to their arms and their wrists, or their hands and wrists, trying to stop them from flying out of the plane and dying, letting go of them, essentially. And it's just like that, like you just letting your hands go like this and letting go of them off the mountain, you know. And that is so hard for so many of us, because the attachments are real. We have so many attachments, and we grip on so tight, like, oh, this has to be this way, but you're changing. Your whole self is changing. You're leveling up. You're letting go of your old self. It's like that's what I was describing, like you letting go of yourself off the mountain, and like, see you later, Darren, bye, and you just release and let go of you, that old self. And that is so hard for so many of us. I gripped on so tight to try to stay the same version I was for so long, because I had this identity of who I was before, and that this person liked this and liked that and did this and did that. And everybody I knew around me was people that have been in my life the majority of my life. So they knew me as this identity of this person that liked this and liked that. And I never really changed. I held on to that version of myself for a majority of my life. And the changes that I had were very small. Very, very small. You really couldn't see them, because they were so, I wasn't leveling up that quickly. And I held on like a lot of men do. And when I did try to change, I got lashback from family, from friends, from romantic partners that I was seeing. I attracted a lot of people in, and also the family I was incarnated into. It was very difficult for all of us to release control, let go, change, because when you saw like a drastic change in someone that you were around majority of your life, like a family member, it was really really hard. It was like whiplash to me. And I was like, oh my God, like this person's changing. Well, then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh my God, everybody's getting married around me. Everybody's getting into relationships. Like, this is what I wanted my entire life. Like, what's happening? And I was freaking out. And I had that happen to me numerous times in my life. But because I didn't really understand change fully, because I grew up in South Florida, and South Florida with the weather, I feel like it's a lot different when you're in another area where you have seasons. I feel like that creates an external change. But when you live in an area where the external doesn't really change, other than like new buildings coming in, or you know, construction happening, you don't really notice that as much as like the winter coming or the summer coming. There's a vast change in that, and it really wakes you up. Because you get that 20, 30 negative degrees, or freezing, and or super hot, and it can cause you to like, oh, wait a minute, there's change that happens. But then if it's like very similar all the time and you have palm trees and hot weather all year round, you don't really have massive change in your external. So I really truly believe my higher self, my soul, was pushing to move somewhere where you had four seasons, and that can stunt, like force your growth or force the change to happen in your external. So then it essentially, you notice it more than you notice it when it doesn't happen, if you understand what I'm saying. If you've lived in both areas and in climates where they were all the same, and then you went to climates where you had change every for 4 seasons, it's a big difference. It wakes you up because every winter and every summer there's a massive shift, and like we're having right now, where I live currently, it's spring now, and that's a big change compared to what it was, where I was wearing heavy clothing. And not that it was super cold, and this winter was really mild, but still there was very cold days and nights, and it forces change, like, because your external is changed. Not many people understand it if they've lived in 4 seasons their entire life, but ones that have lived in different places and experienced different climates, like the Caribbean or South Florida, or South Florida. Like I said, I said this for many many years, why a lot of older people move there, because you don't see change. There's palm trees, and that's it, and the green trees, and that's it. You don't have leaves changing, leaves falling. You don't have any of that. It's the same thing in your external all the time, all year round. So that, to me, I constantly would say they do that, I think, because it makes them feel like they're not getting older. Versus you having the seasons change, you can get quickly wrapped up with, like, month after month changing, but then your weather's not changing in the external. So you can get very wrapped up in that, where you lose sight of the change and you don't even realize it. I mean, that the calendar months are changing, the days are changing, but it really is a big difference when it's in your external. You're seeing that massive change. Like when I moved the last two times, in 2015 and 2017, or yeah, no, 2018, the summer of 2018, that was massive for me. And I got whiplash then too, because what happened is I started to see all my stuff disappear in the house I was living in from 2001 to 2015. So it was a very long time of no change. And I started to see all the stuff disappear and things happening really fast all of a sudden, and freaked out. And then I moved again. Oh, I moved into another place from 2015, and then I stayed there till 2018, and then started seeing everything disappear again. And I started to try to force it to stay, but you couldn't. It's like you trying to swim up the stream. I was trying to force it not to happen, like gripping on so tight, and I suffered. I suffered with so much pain internally, trying to force it to not happen. And then from 2018, let me think here, no, I'm sorry, 2015, yeah, 2015, I moved into this other place. Then I was there for, we were in between two places at that time. And then about probably like 2016 or so, 2016, 2017, I moved into another place, maybe 20 minutes away. And I started to do the same thing. As we put the place up for sale, I started to distance myself and hang out at the beach, at different beaches, and therapy, and do all these things to avoid being there and watching everything just disappear, all the furniture and everything. And I was freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, the only thing I can do is find another place in this state and stay there in South Florida. but something was forcing me out. And I knew it was expiring. I just knew it. I could feel it in my soul. And then we left in 2018 of the summer and moved to North Carolina. And that was really, really hard to embrace, even though I knew that I wanted that for like the last 7 years prior to that. Now, mind you, I was going through some really major health issues at the time. I had hit rock bottom 2017, 2018, and I came up here to visit, to bring some things up and prepare. We stayed for like 2 weeks, and you know what happened when I got here? Nothing changed. I thought that I was going to have a massive shift when I came here for that 2 weeks, and it didn't. Nothing happened. Nothing changed. And then I went back to Florida before we finally moved and sold the place. And as everything was starting to sell, I was freaking out. We were sitting on little beach chairs in the house. There was no couch anymore. The couch sold, the desk sold. Things started just disappearing. The house became empty, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, it's happening. Okay, it's happening. And you're coming. I'm talking about somebody that never embraced change. I thought I could, and I thought that I was bold and like I could handle it. Now I was like talking so boldly for years that I'm moving, and everybody kept telling me, why don't you just move? Why are you waiting for these other family members? Why don't you just do it? And I kept stalling. And there was fear around it, the change. And I started to just realize that how difficult I had with change. Now I feel like it's a lot different. I feel like I embrace it. I feel like we need it. We have to have it. And I feel like since 2018, since I moved here, was that like 4 or 5 years now? I feel like that I've come more at peace with change. I'm doing so many different things with getting certified in different things. I'm standing in my power. I feel like I'm building a foundation. I feel like I'm building stability in my life, which I never had. I lived out of garbage bags from 2015 on. And before 2015, all my shit was like in containers. I just never felt like grounded and stable. And the more I've come into meditation and yoga, Kundalini yoga, and going in nature and going within, like I've talked about on a few other videos, that we have to go inward. The more I've done that, and the more I speak to nature and my spirit guides and my angels and my dad, who's with me right now as I record this video, the more I come into peace with who I am, and I've realized who I am, and that no one in the external is gonna bring me peace or bring me safety. It's me bringing me safety. It's me bringing me peace. And I always used to look in the external to find that safety and that grounding and that solid foundation. Of course I want a relationship. I want my soulmate. Of course I want to plant roots somewhere and really be happy with where I am. Even though I know that no matter where you are, as long as you're happy internally, your external will project that. The fact of the matter is, it also, either you're going to like warm weather, or you're going to like being near the ocean, or you're going to like being near the mountains. That still comes into play, but you have to be at peace within yourself, essentially, before you going to any of those places is going to matter. Because to be honest with you, I lived by the ocean and I never was happy until the last year, and it was being stripped from me. And then now I miss it more than ever because I'm 3-4 hours away, and it's not the same as being 5-10 minutes away. But to be honest with you, it really does have to do with being at peace within. And then all those other things will just fall into place anyway. And it comes with being patient and not trying to force these things to happen sooner than they already are going to for you. Because again, you have to remember that the universe is never out to get you. These situations and these things they happen to level us up too, to get us prepared for that next thing that we're gonna face. Because if you don't get leveled up or prepared or groomed by the universe, by going through these different things that we our higher self shows us for us and by us, like little, like little tiny breadcrumbs, then how will we be prepared for that amazing relationship? You know what I mean? If I was that same person 10 years ago, getting trashed all the time, I feel like I was smoking cigarettes all the time, packs of cigarettes. I was smoking weed. I was doing all kinds of things, which I'll get more into on this channel as we go forward. The fact of the matter is, if I was the same person I was then, very angry and pissed off at the world and pissed off at myself, and I didn't love myself, and how could I be prepared for that amazing partner that's coming in, that divine connection? Like God, source, divine has to prepare us. And yes, we don't want to hear that at different times in our life. Yes, we just want it when we want it, but that's not the case. And when you ask for it, it takes time, usually in human form time, even though I know time is an illusion, but we still have time here. We measure time here no matter what, even though it's an illusion, we still measure time. And, it takes time, whether it's in spiritual realm or here, regardless. I mean, it's not just going to be like, oh, I manifested this, I wanted this, I prayed for this, and now it's here, and I'm ready already for it. It doesn't work that way. Even though you may think you're ready for it, usually we're not. And usually we have to be groomed and prepared for the next stage in our life. And that's what I feel like is happening right now as we go into spring and we go into the solar eclipse that's coming this week. I can feel these freaking energies. There has been a shift already. And it's happening up until the solar eclipse, which I think is on the 20th. 19th or 20th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 20th. So today I feel amazing talking to you on this channel, in this video. And I hope you feel the energy coming through, because I'm feeling it. And Source, God, Divine, Spirit, my dad, they're all talking through me right now as I speak on this video and as I bring this message to you. I promise you, man, I'm feeling chills again as I say that, and I tell you I'm bringing this message to you because so many people are going to benefit from this video. And just make sure that you watch it from beginning to end, because there's a lot of pertinent, powerful information in this video for you. I promise you that. And please like the video if you like it. If you got something from it, please comment below. I'd love to hear your experience of this shift and the solar eclipse that we're upon, and spring, and how you're feeling. And I just feel hopeful that so much is coming into my life. Abundance, financial abundance, abundance in all areas of my life, my soulmate, my partnership, my divine connection, just all of it, this channel exploding. I mean, I come on here every day, and I kind of didn't really know what I was going to bring through to you guys, but then I remembered I used the word the shift in the short I did earlier today, and then it just clicked, man. And it just came through. And I'm getting chills again because somebody out there, or many of you, needed this message today. Just remember that. Be patient. It's coming for all of us. And if you stumbled upon this video, man, your time is now. It's go time. I'm feeling the energies myself. And I know it's go time. Because we've been getting leveled up, and I've been detoxing, cleansing my body, and I'm sure you have too. And I've been fasting. I just got done with a fast over the past weekend, and I've been doing it every other week, and I've been doing many other detoxifications for the past couple years, not only emotionally but physically but spiritually, all of it. I've let go of all kinds of foods that I used to be addicted to. I've let go of porn. I've let go of, the amount of things that I've let go of in my life over the entirety of my life is insurmountable. I can't even tell you how many things I've had to let go of that became addictions, and that became things that I numbed out on or distracted with. And, you know, I found myself more and more letting go of people, letting go of things, letting go of material shit, just everything, man, because I know that I had to, for me to level up to the point I'm at now and the way I'm going forward, and that what I'm here to bring to humanity and society and the collective, the messages I'm here to bring, the changes I'm here to bring, the shifts I'm here to bring, and the relationships that I'm drawing in, my soul tribe, my divine connections, my romantic partner, my soulmate, my best friend. We're going to co-create together, and it's beautiful. It gets, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it gets hard sometimes. We get in these moments, and you feel alone, and you feel like, when the hell is it going to happen? I've been waiting this entire existence as I've been here in this incarnation. And when is it going to happen? When is that breakthrough? When is these things going to start coming in? And it's been really, really difficult. A lot of roller coaster rides, a lot of ups and downs, and it's been tough, man, tough. And yet I'm still here. I'm still being patient. I'm still connecting deeper and deeper to God and Source and the Divine. And I know that it's coming. I know that it's all coming, because we were not meant to come here and suffer our entire life. So just know that you are a beautiful soul. Know that your heart is so pure and beautiful. Just remember that. Tell yourself that all the time. You're a beautiful human being, a beautiful soul. I love you all so much. I thank you for contributing to this channel, hitting the like button, subscribing, commenting. I love reading the comments. I love you all so much. Thank you again for all you do. We're growing this channel. We're building a community together that we're all going to serve and help each other. I love you all so much. Take care, from my heart to yours. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors. We got this.